Find out what self-defense class will keep you in shape.
And what the police really have to do on Halloween night.
And how the presidential election is progressing. All this and more.
This is Wildcast.
Good evening and welcome to the late edition of Wildcast. I'm Carol Ann Scott.
And I'm Janice Yu. Thanks for joining us tonight. Tonight is a long-awaited election night. By state law, results will not be released until after 8 p.m. That means early voting results are being released now. The results often show who will most likely win the election if they have a strong lead. Here in Tucson, the Democratic Party awaits the results at the Marriott Suites on University Boulevard, and the Republican Party is at the Sheraton on Grant Avenue. We will give you what results we can as soon as they come in. So on my way over here, I actually drove past the Sheraton, and I saw that a lot of people are there celebrating.
I will be there later to report. I'm kind of excited. I've never been to such a large political function, but it is the Pima County GOP party, and then I think you're going somewhere as well.
I'm going to the Democratic one, so it'll be fun.
Very interesting. Boxing Inc. is a workout center that is not simply a training facility for avid boxers. This gym provides a unique and tolling workout, a workout many are finding enjoyable. Our reporter Ashley Neville tells us more.
Students at the University of Arizona have found that boxing is an efficient way to relieve stress and have fun while working out.
I think it's helped me with stress, just dealing with school and stuff. It's nice to punch it out on the bag if I have a bad day or have a lot of stuff to do for school, and just physically it's I've become healthier and more in shape, and it's the best work I've ever had.
Boxing Inc. is a place where students can escape and unleash after a long day of class and work. Like any other workout, classes begin with a jump rope warm-up to slowly build up heart rates and loosen up the body.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Boxing Inc. instructor Chris Gonzalez demonstrates the exercises for his students and encourages them to push themselves even harder. In addition to the excitement that boxing brings, students feel they also benefit by learning self-defense.
There's nothing compares to boxing. I'll come again and again and again. I think that this, would definitely help because you learn how to punch correctly and fight off people if you would need to. It makes you feel all tough too, so it boosts your confidence like that. Strength
and conditioning workouts take up 85% of the classes, ranging from difficult arm workouts to squats to shadow boxing with hand weights. These classes are not easy and you will break a sweat, but the reward of getting fit and feeling confident makes the work worth it. Boxing instructor Ashley Curtis teaches a lot of Arizona students and explains the impact boxing has had on their lives.
Lots of U of A students. Just watching people, their attitude, they're coming in more confident.
After a long day of school, U of A students come to Boxing Inc. to get a good workout and relieve some of their stress from school. Boxing provides more than just a workout. You're also learning self-defense, and you're having fun while doing it. I'm Ashley Neville with UATV.
Homecoming festivities kicked off with the lighting of A Mountain on Sunday. Students and alumni gathered to celebrate this long tradition. This Friday at 5 p.m. is the pep rally on University Boulevard, followed by a bonfire and a football pep rally on the west side of Old Main. The homecoming parade kicks off bright and early at 8 a.m. on Saturday, and be sure to tune in to the game at 11:30 as the Wildcats take on Colorado.
Last week was one of the college students' favorite holidays, Halloween. This year, Chipotle offered discounted food to celebrate. But aside from the costumes and burritos, our reporter Megan Canterbury talked to the Tucson Police Department about the safety of such a night. Here's Megan.
It's Halloween time again, and this year, U of A students dressed up for what was a warm October night full of candy, parties, and burritos.
I went over to Chipotle with my roommates. I dressed up as a giant baby because I had this sweet onesie. And we had some Care Bears there, and we saw a lady with a snake. It was a little bit wild. Real cheap burritos, good food, all my kind of favorite things.
Well, for my sorority, we went to the Slaughterhouse, which is a place in Tucson that has a bunch of haunted houses, and it was fun, and we were scared. I am worried about the cops more on Halloween night because I just assume that they're more worried about us, so I just kind of think more about what I'm doing before I do it.
While students are extra careful to avoid the cops when they're out partying, you may be surprised how ordinary and quiet it is for the police department on Halloween night.
There's not a whole lot of additional crimes that come up from it. If there is going to be any, it would be the weekend before Halloween. Halloween normally falls on a weekday. If it does fall on a weekend, that makes it a little bit more rowdier than usual. But on Halloween itself, you'll have a little bit more liquor, even if it is a weekday. A lot of kids out. You don't have a whole big problem with DUIs. But we do keep an eye out, as we would any other night.
Police officers make around 10 DUI arrests per night and approximately the same amount of disorderly conduct arrests, according to the Tucson Police Department website. Even though these numbers do not significantly increase due to the holidays, students should always be careful when they're out on the town. Reporting from the Tucson Police Department for Wildcast, I'm Megan Canterbury.
So, I had heard a rumor that you had some fun on Halloween and had quite the costume.
Yeah, I actually made a homemade loofah costume, and I ended up winning a gift card, so that was fun.
Very creative and very, good that it profited.
It was fun, yeah.
Tweet us what you're doing on election night at UATV3.
Wendy's is giving a free Frosty to all voters who show up to the fast food chain wearing an I voted sticker. There's still a little bit of time left.
Stay tuned for an update on the election.
Welcome back, and we have some updates, I believe, on the election.
We do. According to CNN, Romney has the electoral vote 158 to 147, but Obama still has the popular vote. So we'll see how it pans out, but it's going to be an interesting race.
Yeah, we'll have updates coming up. Students have been giving back this week. The American Red Cross parked their blood mobile on campus starting Monday for students to donate. Representatives of the drive say that this is an event they do annually. But if you don't want to wait a year for them to return to campus, you can contact the American Red Cross Association to find a location to donate blood. The blood van will be located in front of the UA Library Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Although the election vote count has already begun across the nation, Ted Skroback gives us a look at last-minute preparations locally for both Republicans and Democrats.
We're down here at the Republican rally just the day before the election. It's last-minute preparations for both the Republicans and the Democrats. We'll take a look at what they're doing.
After talking with a few candidates as well as a representative, one thing's for sure. Confidence ran high for both parties the day before the election.
With this ground game, we are optimistic and confident.
A lot of people are asking me if I'm worried. I said, I'm not worried. Whether I'm going to win or not, I don't know. We'll know tomorrow, and then ask me again.
I am. We have worked hard. We've worked very, very hard.
The Republicans started bright and early with a 7:30 a.m. rally, a last chance to get all of the Republican candidates together.
You have your crew of people that you work with, but you know that there's other candidates with their individuals, and it's just good for us to all get together and just say, hey, we've been out there working. Energy feeds on on itself, so you can really feel the good vibrations and all the positiveness that's coming out of it.
Bell, who is running for Pima County Board of Supervisors, was stressing the importance of their core voters.
You know, in terms of getting last-minute votes, I mean, these are the individuals, these are our core. You know, they've already, if they live in our district, they're going to already have voted for us or plan on voting for us. So, you know, it's just a matter of getting a little bit more enthusiasm out there to maybe they'll be inspired to dig down a little bit deeper and make that extra phone call or send out those extra emails.
Just a couple of miles away, the Democratic headquarters was humming. The Democrats are moving full force for their Get Out to Vote efforts.
We're in the thick, the absolute thick of the GOTV effort, Get Out to Vote. At this point, it's all about numbers and turning out individuals, contacting as many individual voters as we can.
With the redistricting of Arizona, new legislative lines could bring a competitive advantage to the Democrats. At least Patrick thinks so.
The state legislature, we have new maps, new competitive maps that allow both sides, Republicans and Democrats, to compete on an even playing field. That gives, moderate and independent and Democratic voters an opportunity to change up the leadership in this state, which has gone decidedly to the right, far to the right, as a matter of fact, for the last 40 years.
Party ties aside, the images of Gabrielle Giffords dropping off her ballot to the Pima County Recorder's Office is a heartfelt moment in the midst of the most talked about campaign season in years. Reporting for Wildcast, Ted Skroback.
You know, I feel like every year the election goes on for so long. We've seen campaigns and signs and everything. And I'm almost, I think it's sad to say, looking forward to tomorrow.
Really? Yeah, I know. It'll be nice to have all the results, and definitely the signs will be gone. So maybe
our roadways will be clear.
Yeah. The new database is set to launch in the spring. The University of Arizona's special collection compiled more than 10 bilingual newspapers for an online bank of history. Wildcast reporter Sarah Canty has more. Sarah?
Southwestern history for more than 100 years, available at your fingertips. A new database 2 years in the making of historic headlines will launch in the spring.
Now with the digitization, people can search the database by terminology used in the newspapers. So that adds quite a bit of access.
Access to papers in both Spanish and English, different from the national trend.
A lot of what was being digitized out there have been in English.
El Tucsonense is one of the newspapers featured in the database, and it was printed right here in 1915, and to this day the family still works here.
They have been sitting here in some shelves, and it was just simply time to do something with them.
Albert Elias started working in this print shop more than 40 years ago.
I was kind of like the printer's devil. I did all the dirty things that needed to be done. This is my grandfather, yes.
His grandfather, Francisco Moreno, started up El Tucsonense.
Well, this old man here, when he started in 1915, had a great idea.
A production that was taken over by his grandmother after Moreno passed away.
I didn't even get to know him because he died 3 months after I was born. She knew how to get things done. Really very strong person.
When circulation stopped in the 1960s, Elias took over not only the shop.
I inherited a lot of his headaches.
He says the decision to give the collection to the U of A is a way to keep the publication alive, a decision that his family would be happy with.
They'd be ecstatic, there's no question about it. And it also keeps alive the succession of the family and the fact that they were early pioneers here and were printing a little newspaper.
For Wildcast, I'm Sarah Canty.
Be sure to check us out on Facebook. We'd love to hear from you. Interact with us. Send us your story ideas or questions and read up on the latest news updates.
After the break, find out what the Day of the Dead had in store for Tucson this year.
I'm Derek Williams, the former U of A Wildcat. You're watching UATV. Don't change the channel.
I'll be right there.
Thanks, cameraman. You're my hero.
Hello, and welcome to UA Tonight.
We are your hosts. No.
It's okay, you don't have to cut me off.
No way.
I'm like
Thank
literally
you so
obsessed. Baby, I'll be stuck to you like glue. Baby.
It's
All
that
these
easy.
travelers, I've never even been there. For drunk driving after calling the cops on himself.
We thought that, you guys.
Oh my
God! With an undefeated 5-0 outcome for the Fall Classic Tournament.
The Occupy movement is taking hold because of its strength in numbers.
Tonight is the absolute last night to ride the trolley, as it is closing for 2 years.
I'm sitting on what used to be known as Bear Down Field, which will soon be U of A's new practice field.
I'm Evan Murray, reporting from McHale Center with Wildcast.
Welcome back. This weekend, before the big homecoming parade, you can make a difference one step at a time. The Walk to Defeat ALS will take place Saturday at 10 a.m. at Reed Park. The 3-mile walk will support those who have ALS, also called Lou Gehrig's disease. It's a neurodegenerative disease that affects 5 out of every 100,000 people and has no cure. The walk raises money for the ALS Association, which leads in research, patient services, public advocacy, and giving hope to those affected by ALS. For more information on the walk and ALS, visit walkaz.als.org.
Makeup and costumes covered the Tucson streets this weekend. Over 35,000 Tucsonans participated in the 23rd annual All Souls Procession. The walk through downtown has been a Tucson tradition since 1990 and is held the first Sunday in November. It's a celebration of lost loved ones. Inspired by Dia de los Muertos in Mexico, it is known as one of the biggest Day of the Dead ceremonies in North America.
So did you get to stop by and see the parade at all?
I didn't. I saw some people with painted faces, but I didn't get to go.
I know. I was really unfortunate. I was working on some homework, so I couldn't go. But
yeah, it's a very interesting event.
Yeah, I hope everyone had fun.
Mm-hmm.
As always, thanks for tuning in to the late edition of Wildcast. You can watch us anytime online at uatv.arizona.edu or on our YouTube channel, UATV CH3.
We'll see you next week for another late edition of Wildcast.